Alright, what is good, YouTube? This is like my third time or fourth time recording this breakdown. Uh, this is going to be a trade recap on today's price action and why I ended up going short on NASDAQ and how I ended up losing today. We didn't lose a lot, maybe like 30 bucks, but let's get into it. Now, let me just hide these drawings. Let me show you what I was looking at. Now, price ended up taking previous week's high, and I expected price to go lower, but this week I do anticipate a bullish week because we have tech companies receiving earnings this week, so I do anticipate more bullish days than bearish. So on the daily, I was aiming for this drawn liquidity right here, this low, because price had already taken out this low. So I wanted to see lower prices until this low was taken out. But we also have these relatively equal lows resting below. But for now, I just want to see this low get taken before price goes higher. All right, on the 4 hour, after taking that previous week high, we do have that 4 hour change in the state of delivery, and with that, price was displacing and ended up printing several 4 hour gaps, which I wanted to see traded into and price head towards this low, this draw right here. So let me unclear my charts. So, like I said, everything I had marked up, we had this previous day or previous week high liquidity, this 4 hour change in price delivery, these 4 hour gaps, this liquidity or this drawn liquidity, and these relatively equal lows resting below. So, that's really everything that I had marked up. On the 1 hour, I didn't really have anything marked up on the 1 hour, but the 15 minute, here's where we go into the lower time frame. We had these stacked 15-minute gaps right here, and I wanted to see disrespected because, as you know, the higher time frame gaps act as a magnet for price. So the rules that I had made for today, I wanted to wait and be patient and not take any trades before 10 a.m. because I found myself to take the best trades after 10 a.m., which is also a macro. So I wanted to wait after 10 a.m. to take a trade. And the second rule that I wanted to implement in my system is if there is no higher time frame gap like 15, 5, 1, 1 hour, uh, 15, or not 15, 4 hour, then I wouldn't take a trade. But if we did have a gap, if we did have a 15, 5, 1 minute gap, then I would trade. But we ended up having this 4 hour gap, so I didn't have to worry about that. Um, we ended up tapping into this gap right here, so I wanted to go short and I wanted to target my opening prices. Now, as you know, I have my draws on liquidity for reference, but I'm actually just targeting the opening prices, like such as the daily open, the midnight, uh, at 10 a.m. open, 8:30 open, and 9:30 open. I feel like these targets are higher in probability than uh, targeting draws on liquidity because price doesn't always have to go that far. That being said, we tapped into this for these 4 hour gaps, these stacked 4 hour gaps, and this is when I started to look for my entry. I wanted to target the 10 a.m. open after I got my entry. So let's go on Trade Locker. We ended up tapping into that gap uh, around 10. I marked out that open. I waited for my entry confirmation. I entered on this candle with stops at the high, and we ended up getting edged. This trade would have been a 1 to 2.5 R, but we ended up getting stopped out. Price wanted to go higher, and then um, it eventually ended up taking out this 10 a.m. open, but it's okay. It happens. All about probability. We lost a decent amount of money. The account was sitting at around 290 before this loss. Now we're around 260. So you could do the math on that loss. I usually take multiple trades, but I'm I'm starting to be more reserved in my capital. If I really want to grow the account, then I'm going to have to start taking less trades and higher probability trades. And today just wasn't as high in probability, uh, just based off the fact that we were really choppy around these opening prices. And when prices really choppy around opening prices, it tells me that price doesn't really know where it wants to go. And as you can see, when we came into this 10 a.m. macro, price was significantly choppy. But that being said, that was the trade breakdown. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'll see y'all in the next recap.